Scorpio, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late December, moving into early January 2025. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in energy and see what's happening for Scorpio gang in late December, early January, as we start a beautiful brand new year. Talk to me, my guides. What do we got here for Scorpio, please? What do you got for us? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Scorpio gang. What's happening? Please and thank you. And the last few weeks' readings have definitely been layered, so I'm expecting more of the same. Let's get this first card out nice and quick. There it is. Ask and you shall receive. Okay, there's a card of temptation here. Doesn't surprise me. It doesn't faze me. It doesn't concern me, really. I mean, even though that imagery there might be a little concerning, but to me, I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. I could deal with this. That's a huge card of temptation. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the December subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this card. It is very similar to the Devil in the tarot deck, but there's big differences with this. If you see the imagery there, we have the devil figure. There's like that woman in front of him, and she's holding an apple. So of course this does have a lot of the symbolism, especially with the serpent of the story of Adam and Eve. So of course, when we think of Adam and Eve, we think of temptation. So for a lot of Scorpios, if there's certain things or certain behaviors or certain people that you've been trying to refrain from in this time, you might be tempted by them or it or whatever it might be. Okay, it could even be behaviors. I always like to mention that because it's not always something physical. It's not always another person. Sometimes it could just be like certain thinking patterns or thought patterns. So that's just something to watch out for. This card can be a little bit of a warning, but then again, this could be an energy that can be easily overcome. So just know, even if you're tempted, it doesn't mean you're going to cave. It doesn't mean you're going to crack. The energy is just there. Now, aside from that, this is alluring type of energy. So whether this is how you're presenting to somebody else or whether this is something that is super alluring to you, where it's like, I just can't help it. It's like moth to flame. It's like, I can't help myself. When this energy's around, I'm like, I'm all over it. So we're just going to leave it at that for now. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say the first card here doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for Scorpio gang. Let's see what we got as we begin the new year, please. And yeah, while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled A Surprising Problem. So for a lot of Scorpios, a lot of us, the universe could have been throwing us a few curveballs here and there. But again, similar to this first card, not like there's things that you can't overcome. It's not like it's something you couldn't get through. But to me, it was just like things or issues are just popping up, and it's like, oh, all right, I didn't see that coming. Oh, well. I mean, it takes a lot more than that to break the Scorpio energy, right? But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So when we take this, how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else's, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here to start us off for Scorpio, please. My guides and spirit team. Let's see what's going on. Thank you. Okay, Magician. Wow. I mean, this might have shown up for every single water sign, and I was just saying this in one of the last readings that showed up, and it's been like every single water sign, like more than half the zodiac must have got this Magician this week. Now, I think this is a really good thing, especially in the position it's in, but let's keep moving. I find that so intriguing, and for those of you that don't know, even between readings, between videos I film, I do like 5 minutes of pre-shuffling on every deck, so it's like blowing my mind a little bit that this Magician's coming out so often this week. That's great energetic support. Let's get a couple more. What do we got for Scorpio, please? Thank you. 3 of Wands, cool. Another card of manifesting. So both of these cards deal with like attraction, attracting things in. Let's get one more. What do we got for Scorpio, please? Thank you. Knight of Cups. You're pulling something in. You're most definitely pulling something in, even if you don't realize it. The Knight of Cups, that's us. That's good energy. It's smooth, and so far, so good. Now, I am being very very much cautiously optimistic about what I'm seeing here, because I feel like, yeah, it's simple on the surface, but we might have a lot more complexity when we dig into the deeper details. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes, then we'll get into the juicy intuitive stuff. At first look, first glance, lots of different elements at play, and that's usually the first thing I look at. We have the magician, who's the master of all elements. Like I said, I think more than half the zodiac has received the magician in their spread this week, so it's a very prevalent energy for the whole collective, not just the Scorpio collective. We have some fire in the middle, which is an action. This also links to manifesting. And then, yeah, we have one of our comfort elements. We have water right there back with the Knight of Cups. So to me, it feels quiet. It feels a little cautious. It doesn't necessarily feel like a lot, but I feel like there's more brewing underneath the surface. So let's go through piece by piece and really start to build this out and get more of those details. Position number one, we have our magician, and we're speaking about him a little bit. Notice he has the cup, the sword, the pentacle, the wand. Holding up his wand in his hand, channeling that energy down from source. This is a big karmic card, so sometimes it does deal with karmic situations, karmic cycles, of course. But when I see this card, I think of creating, I think of magnetism, manifesting, pulling things towards you, not chasing them down, but attracting them in. And the same is said with the next card coming up too, just on a little bit of a weaker energetic note. Now, for a lot of Scorpios, this is a great card for spiritual practice, ritual work, anything like that, even learning about spiritual topics. This is a really great card. It's an energetic conduit. That's a big thing. It's moving energy. It's taking it, it's receiving it, it's transmuting it. So I really do like this. Now, the challenge comes in because remember, every card has a challenge. The Magician is a card of control. So for some of you, you might be dealing with a situation where you can't really control the outcome, or you might be dealing with a situation where somebody is like overly controlling about something. Those are usually the big things here with the Magician. So we'll just see how it all plays out. I'm not necessarily getting a bad feeling, but I do feel for a lot of Scorpios, the universe has a lot of energy at your disposal. Even if you're going through a tough time, this Magician says, like, listen, you could shift it, you could change it. Moving to the center, we have the Three of Wands, and we see this individual, he's chilling, he's waiting, he's in a holding pattern. So for some Scorpios out there, maybe there's something that you're waiting on. Whether it be a person or a situation, who knows? It's just someone that's chilling, right? They're not really doing much. But when you look at the finer details of this card, you see that there's a ship. It's right there. It's coming in. It's almost within reach. So when I see this card, first off, I do think of someone manifesting something in, bringing it towards them. But this card, it's like it's almost there, Scorpio. It's right there. So there could be something big coming in, and I really want to clarify this. Now, where the challenge comes with the Three of Wands, it could be someone that's not being proactive enough with certain things. It could be something that's a little delayed. It could be energy that's a little clunky or a little stubborn when we look at the big challenge of it. Sometimes it could even be impatience. But it does fit a big overall theme that I'm seeing here is there's an alluring aspect to every single card, because remember, we have the temptation in the very beginning. I said it's very alluring if it's not you being tempted. Then we have the Magician pulling energy in. We have the Three of Wands pulling energy in, and then we're icing it off with the Knight of Cups, right? This is a super smooth, silky, easygoing type of energy. And talk about alluring, this is it. Now, for us Scorpios, this represents us or other water signs. You often see the Knight of Cups in love readings, right? It represents emotional offers, love offers, talks, deep emotional ones. If we're not talking about love or romance, I mean, since it is a Scorpio reading, the clarifier could tell us something that's coming towards us or what's going to be happening in the very near future. But I just think it's a really beautiful, soft type of energy. So it's alluring, right? It's tempting. And it's an energy that pulls things to it. So I feel like these are energies that a lot of Scorpios could really build on in the coming days and weeks, where it's like you shouldn't be chasing something, you shouldn't be pressuring something. Let it come to you. Let it come to you, which feels okay to me. Now, the big challenge of the Knight of Cups, it could be someone that's a little too overly emotional. So maybe you might be in your feels a little deeper than you normally are. Sometimes it could represent manipulation, but we're not going to go down that road until we look at the clarifiers. So I want to dive deeper on all of it. Let's jump in and clarify. Let's get a good shuffle here. What do we got for Scorpio gang, please? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Magician. And yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Scorpio, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. All right, Magician time. What's up? Why is the Magician here? Thank you. Nice and quick. 3 of Cups. Beautiful. 3 of Cups in the upright. This is celebratory, my friends. This card does get a bit of a bad reputation because sometimes it does represent third-party situations, of course. But you know me. When I see a positive, I call it a positive. I call a spade. And the 3 of Cups to me is happiness, joyousness, merriment. So again, it really is about what makes you happy in this time. And that's a big thing when it comes to manifesting and creating your future. Like, do you really want a situation that makes you miserable? Okay, whether it's a situation or whether it's a person. Do you really want something that's going to stress you the hell out all the time? Or do you want to be happy? I think it's going to be very important for a lot of Scorpios in this time to really identify something that will truly make them happy. And that's not always an easy question to ask, right? What will truly make me happy? What is the result that I really want out of this? These are questions that we might want to ask ourselves. Now, again, Magician, 3 of Cups, huge wind-based type of energy. Could also represent communities of people. So again, with all the magnetism, double 3s showing up. So to me, it's like we're pulling things in. I was getting a very similar thing in the Cancer reading, except it feels much more intense here in the Scorpio one, where it's like, yeah, the Cancer had the magnetism going, but for this Scorpio reading, it's like I can just bring this all to me. Come to Papa. That's the vibe I'm getting here, Scorpio. So let's just keep moving. I like it. So yeah, either that's a win or it's about identifying what makes you happy. So let's go in on that 3 of Wands. Let's see what's up with that. And we'll keep it moving. So why is that 3 of Wands here? Cute. The Sun. I mean, Scorpio, it's like we're getting better and better and better. We're getting much, much better. Whereas like last week, I was seeing surprising problems. I mean, the reading's not over yet, but the Sun is the most positive card in the whole entire deck. It's pure source energy. And notice we have the 2 cards that hook into source energy the strongest, the most potent, showing up in this weekend spread. So now is a great time to use these energies to really support your goals and what you want to do and what you want to accomplish. I mean, it's just super supportive energy here, and I feel like it's super claimable. Now, let's talk about the Sun. It does link to Leo energy. Sometimes it could represent aha moments, revelations, realizations. So for a lot of Scorpios, yeah, maybe there is something you are waiting on, or you have been waiting on, or a result you've been like waiting to hear back from, and you kind of have a realization or a revelation about it. Like, oh, okay, now I get it. There could be something that really clicks into place in your mind. But again, wins, victories, it's all here. It's source energy. And the thing with the Sun, it feeds into this magnetism. So again, I feel like for a lot of Scorpios, you can really pull things to you. Do not chase it. Attract what is yours. Pull it in. And I feel it coming. Like whoever, I'm telling you, if it's a person, here they come. If it's a situation, here it comes. It's like all over the place here in this reading. So one of the more positive readings I've done for Scorpio in quite a while. Right? And you know, like some weeks we have a crappy one, some weeks we have a good one. This one is highly, highly favorable. Okay, so we're just gonna keep moving. Let's go over to our card, the Knight of Cups, and see what happens there. Then we'll do a quick little recap. So I'm liking it. Definitely liking it. So why is the Knight of Cups here? Thank you. Temperance in reverse. All right, so for some Scorpios, there might be something where you decide you're not going to wait around on it any longer, or there could be something where it's like, I'm losing patience with it. Okay, there could most definitely be a situation where you're just like, okay, well, I gave it a shot, I gave it a go, and it is what it is. When I see temperance in reverse, it doesn't necessarily mean it's giving up, but it's like, now I'm on the move. That's just the vibe I'm getting intuitively. Now, if that's not the case, when I see the Knight of Cups and temperance in reverse, again, this is something coming in, someone coming in. So I feel like your powers of magnetism, you could really pull stuff in. I know I sound like a broken record. I've been saying it over and over, but that's just because I feel it so intensely here. Now, this temperance card does link to Sagittarius energy. Usually in the upright, it's very slow, it's very measured. When it's in reverse, it's going a little wild too. So again, Scorpio, with what we had here in the beginning, this card. And now Temperance showing up in reverse here on the back end. There might be a propensity for you to go a little wild, right? Be on the wild side a little bit. And listen, as part of Scorpio Collective, I know we all have it in us, right? Like there's a reason we have the reputation we do, the area of the body that rules us and all that stuff. So when I see the Temperance in reverse under the Knight of Cups, it's like, okay, someone's getting a little saucy here. And I don't think it's a bad thing. So interesting. So either losing patience with something, stopping on waiting, I mean, pulling things in, getting a little saucy. I like it. I feel like it's good. I mean, I guess if you're a cross watcher, this could be good for you too, right? If you're linked to Scorpio. But let's do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow card. Listen, I think this reading from front to back is pretty claimable for the most part. So if you kindly look in the box, I think we're going to be starting this new year or this new calendar year in a very positive light. Position number 1, we have the Magician and the Three of Cups. As I mentioned, with all this energy, there's a huge magnetism pulling things towards you. But when I see this alignment here on the front end, it's really beautiful. Yes, it could be a big win or victory of some sort. I just think it's really nice. I do think for a lot of Scorpios, it's important to identify what really makes you happy. If there's anything in your life or anything you're wanting, then that gives you more headaches than positives. I mean, you need to be honest with yourself about it. Like, does this truly make me happy? Like, can I be truly happy? And identify it and just move towards that honesty. Moving to the center, we have the Three of Wands, the manifesting. Something's almost there. We got the Sun, the most positive card in the deck. I feel for a lot of Scorpios, you might be having aha moments, realizations and such. But like I said, with all this energy coming in, do not chase something or pressure something. Let it come to you, whether it's a situation, whether it's a person, because it's showing to me that it's coming. And whether it's coming this week, whether it's coming next week or in the near future, the energy's on its way. Moving to the back end, we have the Knight of Cups with Temperance in reverse. Now, for some Scorpios, you might be getting tired of waiting on something, or just say, you know what, screw it. I don't even care about that anymore. For another portion of you, the magnetism again, showing up, someone coming in. But I also got this weird vibe of someone getting a little saucy, like the little vices coming out. So just know that there might be a propensity to go a little wild in the coming days and weeks. So please take a screenshot if you want to look at it further. Let's see what's in the shadows here. Definitely an intriguing one, right? I mean, every one of these Scorpio readings usually is. But let's get a shadow card. What do we got? And yes, this is where I like to pull one just to see what's up, whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a bad thing. They could be good too. Let's get you one. And if you made it to this point in reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, let's get your shadow card out here, Scorpio. What is up? What do we not see, or what's coming? Two of Cups. So yeah, a lot of similarities with the other water signs. I feel like Pisces have the Two of Cups in the shadows as well. This is great when it comes to partnerships. Now, I will say this, the shadow side of the Two of Cups, if you are one of the Scorpios that has been having relationship issues or connection issues with soul ties or soulmates, when this shows up, it could be something that's still affecting you in a way. It's an energy that could still have a pull on you for sure. But when I see this, I think of this as supportive and good. This is an easy flowing energy, just like the Knight of Cups. So there could be much worse shadow cards than the Two of Cups. Now, I guess it depends on your situation. If you are in a very difficult connection or a toxic connection and this card shows up in the shadows, this might be an energy that you still have some work to do to really clear it up and work through it on your own time, of course. But for another portion of you, this could represent somebody that's coming in. So keep that in mind. This could be a very supportive energy that's coming in. And that's another theme I was picking up in the Scorpio reading and all the water signs this week, that there's a super supportive energy coming in. So yeah, Scorpio, that's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the December subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can check out my digital calendar and book one at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. But for the December subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 3 copies of one of my favorite decks, the Everyday Witches Tarot. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, 2 simple things as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, what do you want Santa Claus to bring you this year for Christmas? You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.